Today we have a running shoe comparison that I've been looking forward to. We have the ASICS Megablast, the super trainer that everyone's been talking about in 2025, against the Dynafish Xiaonian, a Chinese shoe that's built a real cult following amongst running shoe nerds, and it costs as little as £70 depending on where you get it from. These two keep getting mentioned together, both super trainers, both without a plate, both getting a lot of attention. But once you spend real time in these shoes, you start to wonder why anyone's comparing them at all, because they're two very different beasts. So let's get into it. Hey, I'm Jim and you're watching RaceDay, where I share my honest take on the gear I'm using as a 50-something runner who's still chasing personal bests. So, the Megablast. You know what you're getting straight away with this shoe. It's big, it's got a chunky stack of foam, it's got a lightweight race upper, a shoe that means business. Now pick up the Dynafish Xiaonian, and this is where things get interesting. It's shockingly light, around 200 grams, for a shoe with a 41mm stack of foam. That just shouldn't be possible. To put it into context, that is lighter than most race shoes, lighter than the Adios Pro 4, lighter than Alphafly. The Megablast is already light for how much foam it has in it, but it's still 40 grams heavier than this. When you hold the Dynafish Xiaonian, something just doesn't add up. There's too much shoe here for such little weight. So that's the first thing you need to know. Now let's look at the numbers. The Megablast has a 45mm heel stack down to 37mm in the forefoot, an 8mm drop, FF Turbo Squared ASICS TPEE Super Foam, a single foam, no plate, and the price is around £210. Now what about the Dynafish Xiaonian? 41mm heel stack down to 34mm forefoot, so a 7mm drop. TPEE foam, one solid slab, no plate, no shank. It weighs in at around 200 to 210 grams depending on the size, and the price as little as £70 on Taobao or AliExpress. So similar stack heights, similar drop, very different foam and a very different price. So how does the Megablast feel? I've gone into this in detail before, but here's a quick summary so you can see how it stacks up. FF Turbo Squared is snappy and controlled, soft but fast to bounce back. There's a real spring to it that rewards running faster. It works across everything, easy runs right through to hard threshold efforts. The faster you go, the more it gives back. It's controlled, it's confidence inspiring, it does everything, and that's really what the Dynafish Xiaonian has to live up to. So what about the Dynafish Xiaonian? It feels completely different. The TPEE foam in the Xiaonian is a different experience. Where the Megablast feels snappy and lively, the Xiaonian is smooth and quiet. It doesn't show off, no big bounce, no dramatic roll, it just gets on with it. It's smooth, it's efficient, it's seamless. The interesting thing is what happens when you go at pace. I keep finding myself running 10-15 seconds faster than I'm meant to, without it really feeling any more effort, and that's a rare thing. It's not exciting underfoot, but it's quietly and genuinely fast. The ATP foam has a dense, chewy feel to it, firm enough that you don't sink into it, but soft enough that it still cushions well. It holds up over long runs, and I found that it still felt good after 20 miles. The rocker shape is aggressive. It starts rolling you forward from about the middle of the shoe, no dead spots in the transition, just a smooth continuous roll. This shoe works best if you land on your midfoot. Heel strikers can run in it, but midfoot is where it really comes alive. The biggest difference in how they feel underfoot, the Megablast feels like a proper tool. The moment you put it on, you can tell what it's there to do. The Xiaonian is more low-key. It doesn't shout, it just runs. Neither is better, they're just different for different runners, for different kinds of days. So let's talk upper and fit. The Megablast is thin and breathable with serrated laces from the ASICS Race range. It's got great heel padding. One thing to watch is that the tongue is pretty minimal, and you can feel it if you tie your laces too tight. The Xiaonian upper is a firm light nylon mesh, breathable and very lightweight. One clever detail is that the lace eyelets run all the way to the toe box, which lets the front of the shoe open up for wider feet. The fit is wider and more relaxed than the Megablast. The midfoot is a bit narrower, but the toe box has plenty of room, and for me it fits true to size. One honest flag, the laces, they're a bit thin, a bit long and a bit fiddly. If Dynafish switched to serrated laces like ASICS have done on the Megablast, I'd be much happier for getting the shoe really dialed in. The heel counter is also soft and floppy, fine for most people on straight roads, but worth knowing if you need something more sportive on the back. And the build quality, given the price, is genuinely impressive. Now let's talk outsole and durability. On the Megablast we have minimal ASICS rubber coverage with exposed foam. It's really meant for roads, not for trails, and it's holding up well after over 400 miles. And the Xiaonian, it's got CPU rubber on the outsole, not the fanciest compound, but great in the dry and decent when the conditions get a bit wet. The small lugs worried me a bit at the start, but they've been fine, and after 150 miles it's working well. So both have lasted, but neither is really a trail shoe. And what about stability? This is a big one for anyone running competitively. The Megablast is a more stable shoe with a firmer foam, a wider base for the stack height, and it's predictable and controlled when you're pushing hard. And the Xiaonian, well, it's less locked in. You have the soft heel counter, the narrow midfoot, so it all means that it's got a bit more movement underfoot. On straight roads at normal kind of training paces, I think that it would be fine for most runners, but on sharp corners or on the track, I'd just be a bit more careful with this shoe. If stability matters to you, then I think that the Megablast is the winner. In terms of pace ranges and versatility, the Megablast does everything. Easy runs, long runs, threshold, tempo, race day. Its ceiling is high. The Xiaonian covers most of that, but not all. It's great for easy runs, long runs, tempo, marathon pace. Handled all them really well. Where it fell short for me was on fast intervals. The soft heel counter and the compressed foam just didn't give the same solid platform as the Megablast. For a marathon runner, the Xiaonian covers most of what I need most of the time, but not quite everything. Now let's talk about price, because this is where things get interesting. The Megablast is £210 here in the UK. You might be able to get it for a little under 200 in a sale or with a discount voucher, while the Dynafish Xiaonian, £70 on Taobao, so a huge gap. Let's be straight about it. The Megablast is a better shoe in that it's more versatile, it's more confidence inspiring. Yeah, you can do more with it. But for the price of this, you can get 3 pairs of the Dynafish Xiaonian. And is the Megablast really 3 times the shoe? So I think that creates some awkward questions for ASICS about value for money here, and really is a huge reason why people are searching the web, going on websites like AliExpress and getting strange ads like Taobao so they can get this shoe for £70. It's just a bargain. So the race day verdict on the ASICS Megablast: buy if you want the most versatile super trainer out there, especially if your training includes hard threshold and interval sessions where stability matters. Wait if budget is a factor. The Dynafish Xiaonian covers most of what this shoe does, but for a fraction of the price. And skip, well, honestly, it's hard to skip the performance, but at £210 it needs to justify itself really at that price point. Now, the Dynafish Xiaonian: buy it if you want a shockingly light, quietly fast shoe that is great for long runs and cost less than a tank of petrol. The foam is special, the ride is unlike anything I've seen. Weight, if you have stability concerns. The soft heel counter is worth thinking about. And skip if you want one shoe that does everything. I mean, the Megablast does slightly edge it out in that regard. So in closing, here's where I landed. They're two very different shoes and there's a big price difference. Both deserve a spot in your rotation, but which one would you go for? You've been watching RaceDay. If this was useful to you, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments if you have tried one of these shoes and what you thought of them. See you next time.